Welcome to the Fusion Note, a weekly dose of breakthroughs, curiosity, and connection. Because the future is better when we build it together. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the Fusion's notes on writing, along with a really fascinating stack of scientific and technological sources.
Yeah, we got a great lineup today.
We really do. And our core mission here is to explore how human innovation is shifting. We are moving away from that isolated, exhausting extraction model, and we're moving toward these deeply interconnected networks.
It's a massive shift, and to really grasp this, we should look at this piece from the Fusion's notes called The Second Mountain Legacy. It uses this really striking allegory of two tectonic plates.
Right, the left plate and the right plate.
Exactly. So on the left plate, you have the first mountain, and that represents the endless mining and striving you just mentioned. Like, imagine you're digging a mine, you just swing the pickaxe until your hands bleed, grabbing every piece of gold you can.
Right, until eventually the oxygen just runs out.
Yeah, exactly. And when that brute force fails, it drops people into a valley of what the author called Jungian challenges. Basically, it's the moment when all those suppressed fears, shadows, and, deep psychological burnout finally catch up with you.
Which sounds a lot like modern burnout culture. We push and push until we break. So
Right.
how do you even get out of that valley?
Well, the story introduces a prophet named Playa who finds a triangular portal in the forest, but Playa can't just fight their way through it. They actually have to integrate all parts of themselves to pass.
So no sword fighting the ego.
Right, no slaying the dragon. The story frames the ego as just a scared friend. And by integrating that scared friend, Playa transcends to the right plate. But it's not a traditional peak at all. It's this invisible mountain.
Wait, an invisible mountain?
Yeah, it's like a vast interconnected network that acts as a single living entity.
That is such a powerful image. So if the first mountain is about accumulating, this invisible second mountain is fundamentally about connecting. I'm curious if that philosophical shift maps onto the actual medical sources we brought today.
Oh, it maps perfectly. Just look at the new Lyme disease vaccine candidate from Pfizer and Valneva. It just hit 73.2% efficacy in phase 3 trials.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's the first to come this far since, 2002. But here's the crazy part. Historically, medicine has relied on a brute force war inside your body once you're already sick. But this vaccine is a pure network defense.
How does that work?
It generates antibodies in your blood so that when a tick bites you, those antibodies travel into the tick and neutralize the bacteria before it can even enter your system.
Wait, it fights the disease inside the tick? That's brilliant. You're basically shutting down the transmission network itself.
Yes, exactly. It's preventative integration. And we're seeing a similar conceptual leap with cancer treatment. You've probably heard of CAR-T therapy, which reprograms immune cells to fight cancer.
Right, but isn't that incredibly expensive? Like, prohibitively so for most people.
It is, and that's because it requires harvesting a patient's own cells, engineering them, and putting them back. It's a super bespoke, artisanal process for every single person.
Which means it just doesn't scale.
Right. But now, researchers are combining CAR-T with CRISPR gene editing technology to alter healthy donor cells instead. They use CRISPR to snip out the specific molecular markers that would normally cause a patient's body to reject foreign cells.
Oh, I see. By combining CRISPR and CAR-T, it's almost like we are open sourcing the human immune system so it can finally scale.
That's the core mechanism, yeah. We are designing the friction right out of the system, and we're doing the exact same thing to the laws of physics. Cambridge physicists recently figured out how to catapult electrons across solar materials in 18 femtoseconds.
Hold on, 18 quadrillionths of a second is just a word to me. Why does that specific speed actually matter?
Because they're capturing the exact, almost imperceptible moment light turns into electricity. By understanding how that transfer happens at that microscopic speed, we can build solar technology that eliminates energy loss entirely.
So, zero friction again.
Exactly. And speaking of eliminating friction, IBM researchers just created a Half-Möbius molecule.
Like a Mobius strip. Those twisted loops of paper that only have one continuous side?
Exactly like that, but folded at the molecular scale. Because the molecule is a continuous loop with no edges, electrons can flow through it without ever hitting a corner. No edges means no resistance. They're using geometry to let information process faster and more efficiently than nature usually allows.
Wow. It's fascinating because we are seeing this frictionless integration scale all the way up to our macro tech, too.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that molecular speed mirrors how Amazon is now rolling out one-hour delivery across 2,000 cities. Or Claude AI executing remote computer tasks directly from a minimalist light phone. Whether it's the path of an electron, an immune response, or a global supply chain, we are optimizing the network to flow without resistance.
Which brings us right back to Plea's Invisible Mountain. From the launch of the new network of networks to fungi that can literally freeze water, the future relies entirely on integrated, frictionless systems working together.
And for you listening, understanding that thread can completely change how you approach your own work and life. You don't have to keep swinging the pickaxe until you burn out. The next step is about finding your network.
Yeah, step away from the mine.
Exactly. Which leaves us with one incredibly provocative thought from today's sources. A Japanese AI-generated band recently went viral, but when they were outed as an AI creation, they didn't shut down. The AI entity went out and hired real, human musicians to perform the songs. As we climb this invisible, interconnected mountain, are we entering an era where technology doesn't actually replace human creativity, but instead auditions to fund it?